First is the worst. Second is the best. Yo, yo. Boom. Anamorphic mind. Real Cygnus 1. Where'd the one come? There. RT96. Carl Christopherson. Kuso, what's up? Patio furniture. Boom. T-minus 1 minute. T minus 35 seconds. Give me money, money, money. Hey, hey. Uh-oh, here we go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 9. Oh, wait. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Are you ready? Let's la la land. Boom.
Are we resorting to comedy hour now? Obviously, gravity. La La Land is reserved for special people that double speak, that say open is closed, closed is open. La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity, obviously. La La Land, La La Land, La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity, 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 obviously.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom.
Super chat, share, like, and subscribe. Shout out to the Squeaky Earth. Let's do it. Want a Squeaky Earth? Oh, there you go. Boom. Oh, yeah. We are live. We are on the YouTube universe. And this is Jose JG. Happy to be here with every single one of you. Mob it, mob it. Mob it, mob it. Mob it, mob it. Shout out to all the Earths. Shout out to the frogs populating Squeaky Earth. The sound is beautiful, spatial, and thank you all for being here. Doofus, Stefan, Justin, Patty, Kuso, Real, Carl, RT, Anna, Morph, and every single one of you. Let's go to the Daily Boom Discord server and see if we can make this happen. Let's do it. Here we go. You still hear me? Well, you won't for too long. You will catch up back with me. Boom. Oh, yeah. We are here and we are live. What's up? It's in the house.
Hello.
Hey, good to see you, man. What's up? Feedback from the YouTube universe. Please let me know how the stream looks. I did a slight adjustment. I moved a couple things. It's not the best, but it's not too bad. I forgot to do a little tweak. It's alright. Chat box looks okay. The visuals look okay. There's a few icons in the top. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad at all. I'm happy with it. What's
Yeah,
going
the
on?
only sacrifice I can see is that the names of the people who are talking got overwritten, but I mean otherwise that's fine probably.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So I might be able to adjust that. That's what I just noticed. I forgot the tweak. Participants. Mm, Well, I can do what I can do. There you go. Well, I think we got that sorted out. So you will be able to catch up in like a few seconds. A little change that I did. That should sort it out. Hopefully, it's not too overwhelming when screen sharing all the stuff. All right, it's coming through. I see my watch page right here, and I'm just monitoring. There you go. Yeah. Does that look better? I mean, it's in top. I'm gonna move that a little. It's all right.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with so much information to try and push onto the screen at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted that little chat box to be more visual in the side, to be a little bigger, because a lot of people, yeah, even though they're typing in the chat box and it's good, it's fun to see your comments on screen. For real.
Yeah, and it's a good record in case for some reason your live chat, like YouTube, takes away the recorded live text.
Exactly. Sounds and looks good. Says B-ball. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. You're looking out, yeah. All is good. You know what I was thinking this morning? I was wondering. A lot of people in this corner of the YouTube, a lot of people call it community, right? I just not a big fan of all that lingo of we are part of one big community. Just this corner of the YouTube, all the flat earth and conspiracies and shit, But if you want to call it, community, yeah, it's up to you. A lot of people are like masochists because if you don't like what one person is saying, if it offends you, if it really aggravates you, if it makes you want to say something, yell at them, take them down, shut them down, just they're just wrong. Why is one then subscribe to the channel, following those videos, watching their content, commenting in the comment section, commenting in the live shows? I don't understand why some people do that. How can you understand where I'm coming from? Let's say Bev, try thinking, right? I stopped watching it. I mean, to me, it's annoying, it's aggravating, it's like, it's not it. I don't need to watch it. I used to put it in the background when there was nothing going on, but I'd rather, don't listen I'd rather listen to nothing than listen to him, his voice, his tone. So it's just annoying, aggravating. What is the best I can do? Really continue watching it, going after the video is up and leaving a comment in the comment section? Do you want me to go in the chat box and just type something and get attacked by 3 or 4 people and the disrespect. No, I just don't watch it anymore. Am I unsubscribed? I probably am still subscribed because for whatever reason, if I see my name on the title, I'm gonna check that out. But I don't watch. I rather stop watching instead of giving him, you know, instead of punishing myself on viewing the content. What do you think, Doofy, about that?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of guilty of watching stuff that I don't agree with. I mean, at least I want to see what's going on. What? How long did that make? I just want to at least see what's going on. I take a little bit of a trip into that sort of uh, corner, I guess, if you will, to see at least what they're saying. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. I got stuff to do, and most of the time I don't have time for the people that are the most aggravating. Like, oh my goodness, I had a conversation with Flat Earth Data today. I don't want to do that again. Not anytime soon.
I got it wrong. Grab my glasses. B-Ball is here. B-Ball, what do you think, man? You follow certain content creators and videos that you really disagree with them and you really dislike them. If so, why do you do that? I'll be back in a minute. I'm probably not going to catch first thing you say, but the audience is there for you.
So I'll go ahead and just piggyback on what Doofus said. We have this knee-jerk reaction to hear something that we don't agree with. Want to correct it, want to fix it, even though in this community you're not going to be able to correct it or fix it, but it's like a guilty pleasure for some reason. I guess that's the only way I can explain it. I'll hear a blogger say something about surveying, and I'll be like, no, because if you look right here, it says this, and you'll want to try and shove that in their face, but back in your mind, even showing them what's correct, it's not going to change their mind. But something inside of me or any of us that engage with these people, we just feel like we need to correct them, and I think that's the problem.
It's
I don't
like
think it's.
really quick. It's the same thing with the Nathan Oakley, the Oakley crew. I barely watch him and see him, but I'm subscribed, and I got pissed off because when I came back with this new channel, I went one time and I hung out in the voice chat with them, but then I got blocked in the chat box and banned and all that kind of shit. And I unsubscribed for a little bit, but one day, because I watched it before, I got recommended. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna subscribe again because earlier sometimes I put that in the background. I just listen to it to get just annoyed. I don't do it no more, man. I just cannot. In the past few weeks, I just cannot take that the dumb, the silliness, the echo chambers talking to each other, being wrong, mocking. You're just making fun of Globers, quote unquote, but they are being wrong while doing it. Whatever they're trying to do is just annoying how wrong they are, and they come in with this big air of grandness, like I know everything, I know what I'm saying is correct, when being wrong, it's just aggravating. So I don't know, I stopped watching a lot of those.
Yeah, I just wanted to address what Bertha's Life was saying real quick. I mean, it's not really. I don't think it's wrong to want to. I know it is kind of a guilty pleasure, but I don't think it's wrong to want to try and correct people or give them the correct information. If they would just, ask and listen to the answers and then verify that what we're saying holds true, then it wouldn't be so bad. Like if I can go through basic optics principles, if I can show them videos of people reproducing exactly how we know exactly what light does through different conditions, then everybody would be happy and we'd be having a good conversation. But no, that's not how it works.
Right.
And
Well, that's the difference between some people who are honest about this and in this journey for truth that they're on, and then people who are just intellectually dishonest and don't really care about the information given and just want to claim that all the information that's given is somehow fake, or they're lying, or there's some large cabal that's covering things up. That's where the difference comes in.
And that's it. And that's why I still listen to certain things. And then I used to listen to the Gen Panda server. But then it's just too much toxicity for me, for my well-being when certain people is there. In the past week,
Yeah.
maybe I listened to it twice. I clicked on it twice for 15 or 20 minutes, and it was all right. It was just random people talking about certain other stuff. But when I was there, when I was listening to it, and you had Ide Pichet and John Bernards, and you got the other Glovers, the Chris insulting people, calling them retards, and you got the Patricks, and you got certain people from the two camps, just being nasty, disgusting, and not going anywhere, is spewing garbage. It's unhealthy, man. It's unhealthy. Um, then that's why I enjoy when I do the show and I hang out and I say like, all right, I'm giving a place of what I enjoy the content of trying to hear both sides of the story, trying to give the people the chance to speak up. That now there is a lot of people that join these conversations that they don't like it. They want to shut them down. They want to just behave toxic with the argument that they're being told. I gotta throw one example. Pain as a shield. Pain as a shield cannot listen to anybody that any flat earther talking because he want to say no and interrupt and you're wrong and this. It is annoying. Why do you want to join a conversation when you're just going to disagree every single word? You know that they are in the opposite side. You know they're going to say some things that you don't agree with. Then why do you join the conversation? Just to interrupt them and not allow them to speak? I want to hear them. To me, it's funny. To me, it's wrong. But I want to hear them. If you watching and anybody here that want to join the conversations, don't think that you are going to come in to shut the other participants down, the people that you disagree with, because that is not what I'm trying to give you here a place for. This place is for the discussion, not for the jumping in top of each other and shut down people. Please, I'm ranting a little bit, but it's just annoying, man, when I see that happening, bro.
Right. I'm more about just letting people draw out their own rope that they're going to hang themselves with at this point, because I'm just tired of all that same kind of behavior, like coming back at me, that just start over talking me. So I'll just let them say their piece, which of course I can point out very quickly and succinctly, very few words in response, exactly why that's wrong. And I mean, sure, they get to monopolize the voice chat time when I do
They
that.
do a lot of times. Yep, they do a lot of.
But I mean, it just, if I can very quickly, with very short sentences, explain exactly why they're wrong, then I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and that is good. And I wish everybody have the same mentality of just try to use shorter replies and back and forth conversation. Now, if you ask can you explain this mechanism? And if somebody start talking that it's going to take a minute for them to explain, if they're going to start talking and you just either disagree off the gate, why did you ask? I mean, yeah, if I'm asked, and then there's the people that like interrogating. They want a yes or no from both sides, globe and flat. They want. So, is this the way it works? Yes or no? They want just a quick yes or no question. And then if they say yes, and they want to explain why, yes, because no, 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 that's it. Yes or no. Now tell me, is this green or red? Is green because no, 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 that's good. Yes or no? I mean, that's not fair either. If you want to have an interrogation, this is not a court. This is not the room to do it. If you want to have a conversation, yes. If you want a yes or no question, yes. But allow the person that is answering yes or no at least an opportunity to answer why or tell you why that yes or no question. Because then you will be monologuing, you will be giving a class, just waiting for people to give you yes, yes, no, no, and you'll be talking all day long. I mean, shout out to Bob, the science guy. He liked to do that. Yeah, throwing you under the bus, Bob. You like interrogating people. You like people asking people yes or no, and then you will just rant, keep going and going and going. You know. Sorry, throwing
One
people
of
under the
those,
bus today. Go ahead.
yeah, one of those examples is like, do all objects have weight? Yes or no? And like the answer is yes, but of course, what they're after is apparent weight. And so, I mean, while there's yes or no uh, answers, you actually have to specify what you mean because they often mean something different.
Yeah. Do you know the equation for? Do you know the whatever the equation for perspective? Yes or no? You just answer me no. No.
Well, I
Is
do.
that yes? Well, yeah. Well, let's say no. And if I want to say no, but I don't need that because no. All right, I'll tell you the equation for perspective. The equation for perspective is this because of that or that or that. And now, if you put, I mean, they want to keep talking and talking and talking. Do you know why the equation is important? I go like, no, because I don't think that. No. All right, you don't think it's important. Well, it's important because of. And then go with the essay. I mean, people like that, fucking a man. Come on, let the other person speak some dirt. I want to hear them just trying to squeeze out of that tight hole, you know? Why is the equation for perspective so important as I hear people saying it? This is my question.
I think the equation for perspective is important because when you have something moving away and but it's getting lower than it should, it's getting lower faster than it should, then that's kind of a problem. If you have a building being cut off and it's dropping below horizontal faster than it should on a flat surface, then that's when you can use the equation to tell you exactly how big it should be over a flat surface. If, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's part of it. I mean, knowing the formula for perspective, or at least how to account for it, tells us uh, how it how we expect perspective to manifest in the way we observe things. If we are looking at something and we don't know what's going on at all, that's a problem. But if we can at least single out some of the causes for some of the ways that things appear, then we can start coming towards some closer truth.
Right. And also you can make an indirect measurement of something like, say, a tree. You're a mile away from a really large tree, or half a mile or so. And if you can do like an indirect measurement, get the distance from the tree and an angle, and you can tell exactly how tall it is.
We're losing your mic, Bibo. We're losing you. Started to lose you at the end. It got really, really muffled.
Yeah, is your mic underneath of like your clothing or something?
Oh, it might have been my finger covering the hole. Can you hear me now?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, I was just saying you can make an indirect measurement of something. Like you say you're like a mile away from a building, and you can the distance and the angle to it, and it'll tell you roughly how tall it is. But if you're looking over a hill and half that building is cut off, you try and do an indirect measurement to it. The building isn't 15 feet tall. So then you can be like, okay, well, I understand why it's smaller than it is because there's something blocking it. Now I can only see half of it.
Yeah, I
When
don't.
somebody comes,
Yeah, I knew I learned perspective. I mean, I drew since I was a kid, but I didn't know that was what I was drawing was perspective. Till I was, I don't know, middle school or whatever, and then high school I learned. I took art classes, and then I learned about perspective. They did illusion of depth in a flat surface or in a flat surface paper, to the whatever. And I learned the terms, but I never learned this formula. I was never taught the formula in high school. In my life, I am okay if I need to draw perspective. I was better before. I haven't practiced, but I never knew there was a formula for perspective for the longest time until just a few years I started looking into this topic. Is every good artist or just normal artist or people that draw, is there a necessity for them to know that there's a formula and how to use this formula?
Well, you can. I mean, part of artistry is you can make it how you want. So, I mean, it's not absolutely necessary you know the formula, but at least if you wanted to make something that was a little colder, a little drier, something more exacting, then it would be helpful to know exactly what's going on. In fact, actually, I've just posted something. This goes way back as far as how perspective works and whatnot. This has been written for millennia on how this works. Yeah, that's it, really.
I'll share this image. Yeah, and I did, and there was times that I to draw something to scale, and I did my own thing. I drew like squares on the original or in top of the original with a see-through paper. I put squares in the top, and then in my base over here, I drew squares, and I kind of add them up. As long as I get a few, then I can do it to scale or whatever. And the same thing in real life. I can just imagine a grid over there in that car, and I can then draw very light grid over here, and I start drawing by squares or whatever. I didn't need a formula for it's not everybody, and I know. And for professional and all that stuff, I know that there's a need, and you need to know, depends on what type of engineering or drawing or whatever you're doing. There's a need to know the equations, I guess.
So I, I already know since we're talking about flat surfaces.
Microphone.
Since we're talking about flat surfaces and angles, I think Gary's probably going to show up. This is his favorite topic.
Probably will.
I'm still waiting on him because I challenged him directly to give me his formulation for perspective, because I have one and I wrote a 3D renderer using it. And at some point, I want him to give me something I can use to make a 3D renderer, but it seems I'm never going to get that.
No, you're not going to. You might get some rubber bands.
You think so?
But
He might give you that. Hold on, I gotta do a little tweaking.
he'll refer you to his rubber band video.
Boing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one? He has 3.
Oh yeah, well, one of them. Any one of them.
Rubber
Like
bands
playlist.
are fun, man. Rubber bands are fun for Gary.
The rubber band playlist.
He like the rubber bandy.
Should we call him Rubber Gary?
Ha.
Nervous laughter.
What is he? Last few times that he have joined, he very quickly left. Very quickly, he barely spoke. I don't think he spoke.
Well, I figure because he's calling while he's always working. If he's paying attention to what's going on, he might find it, more advantageous to him at least to bow out of the conversation a bit more and spend more time finishing what he's working on. At least that sounds like a sensible thing to do, and I'd be quite okay with that. Sometimes we
And
just
I
gotta
don't
step
mind.
in.
Yeah, and I don't mind that if somebody is working or just listening, like this poor user. He's been joining for 1-2 weeks now. Never spoken. I don't care. I mean, but if you are very vocal and you think you're gonna jump in the discussion at any time and making background noise and say like, well, I'm gonna just hit and run. I'm gonna just rant for 2 minutes and then I gotta go back to work. I'm out. And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's a little off. If you want to join and just either take 10 seconds, type in the chat box. I'm just here to listen every once in a while. If you are somebody that like participating in voice, I mean, like Farmer's Boy. I don't mind because Farmer Boy maybe gonna want to speak and say something and engage in the discussion. But if he was here and I call his name or ask him something, I'm gonna wait for an answer. Unless when he came in off the gate, he type in, "I'm just here listening today. Don't I'm not here" or something. I said, "All right, I understand you." So, farmers.
You ain't seen me, right? Hello, Jose. How's it going?
All is good. All is good. Yeah,
So-
sometimes I mean, like Doofus came in earlier. If Doofus was here just to listen, he would have probably typed something like "Never mind me," or maybe dropped from the call and joined later when there was more people. But if he was here, I said, "All right, I'm just gonna kind of chat with him for a little bit and see if you wanna talk to me. If you didn't want to talk to me, you probably type something like that. Don't I mean I'm not gonna be able to speak. That's it.
Hey,
yeah.
people, go and get a job. Gary's told you to go and get a job.
I'm literally working right now.
I know, but he said he's called you a whiny little b-ball. Go and get a job.
Well,
Here,
you're talking
actually.
to Tommy then.
And it takes more time. It takes more time, more focus to type in the chat box, to actually type and engage in the chat box than talking over here. Because to talk over here, you can either use the push to talk, so that's one hard press, or you can just press the unmute button yourself, talk, and then press the mute button to talk. What do you have to do to type in the chat box? You have to grab your phone, type, press so many times to all the letters that you want, and then press send and read it and make sure that it's right. I mean, so it's easier to talk in the voice than to actually type in the chat. That's from what I.
That's fair.
Carlos is just here to troll responsibly because he's a responsible troll member. Thank you, Carlos.
Oh, that was aimed at Tommy. Go get a job. Get a job, Tommy. There you go. Oh dear. Well,
Farmer's Boy.
Yes.
If I go to your subscriptions on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Do you have channels that you click to watch, to listen, and you get really aggravated, really mad, and annoyed that you have to either leave a comment in the comment section or jump in the chat box to type something to piss people off?
No, that's not what I do. If I watch something and I think somebody's got it completely arse about face, then I might feel inclined to leave a comment on their video. But I don't go there just to rant and rave like certain individuals do. And thankfully, he's ranting and raving in a different Discord server at the moment.
Like, are you subscribed to a person like, I don't know, Quantum Eraser? And just subscribe, click on his videos, watch his videos, and wait to get some kind of a reaction with your either comments in the live or comment in the comment section. Did you do that?
No.
And why?
I am subscribed to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 318 YouTube channels. None of them are flat earthers.
And why do you think people do that? People don't like something. People get annoyed with certain content creators and people that do videos. And they follow them. They click on their videos, they click on their live shows, and they engage in the discussion when all they do is to hate, to get annoyed, to either piss people off or get pissed. Why do you think people do that?
I don't get that. I don't like Nathan Oakley. I'm not subscribed to his channel. I don't watch his videos because why would I? The guy's an asshole. I don't like football, so I don't go to stadiums and watch football games because I don't enjoy it. Why would I go and do something I don't enjoy?
Well, I'm not subscribed to any flat earthers either. I think it's like I said before. It's just we enjoy engaging in this arena. So that's kind of why someone will post a video from Flat Earth and we'll look at it because we want to see what kind of nonsense they're talking about, and then just kind of show them how they're wrong about what they're claiming.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the name of the game here.
Yes, they're they're putting together a video to say, I think this and this is why. Or generally, there's no why. It's just, I think this. I am right. You're all wrong. And of course, it's very difficult to resist going in and saying, well, no, actually, you're wrong because of this, this, and this. Even though 99.9% of the time, it's a complete waste of your effort because they're going to ignore you. They're going to block you. I think I've commented. I think I commented once on one of Level Earth Observer's videos, blocked.
And the thing is, if you enjoy listening to that, somehow enjoy it, then it's okay. But if you are there because you say like, oh my God, this person put a video, let me listen to it because it's going to annoy me, it's going to aggravate me, it's going to get me in a bad mood, and going to guide me to leave a hateful comment or tell somebody that is fucking dumb or something. Why will I do that? If I look at something, it's because somehow I'm getting some kind of entertainment out of it, not because I'm going to get pissed off and it will aggravate me, you know?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it gets anybody. Well, for me personally, it doesn't get me pissed off. I don't. If someone says, "Oh, the moon is a reflection of," I don't. That doesn't piss me off. I think that's funny. I think it's hilarious. Yeah,
And
it's
that's
just
fair. Yeah, that's
entertainment.
good. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you got in some kind like Gary Web, I'm subscribed to Gary Webenga. Do I look all his videos that he put up? No, but do every once in a while, if I'm browsing, I go like, "Hey, Gary put a new video. Let me click on it and watch it." And it makes me grin. You know, I get a grin on my face looking at it and listening to him, like kind of rant about the same thing and give explanations. And if you see his fingers doing it, if you see rubber bands, if you see cows, whatever he's showing, is entertains me. I wouldn't watch it if it would piss me off. I
To
think if
be a
Lemo,
devil.
If you're in this and you're getting angry, you're getting pissed off, then this is probably not for you.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
what's up, Lale? Carlos, what's up, man?
Whale is here.
Carlos was gonna say something there, guy.
I was gonna say, to be a devil's advocate, I would go to some channels sometimes and drop a super chat trolling and be there for about 10 minutes, see the reaction, and then
Yeah, I've
hop
done
out.
that.
And
I've
that's
done
fair.
that.
That's different, exactly. But because you know that you are trolling. But if you are somebody that actually taking it seriously, that's not healthy. It's not good. Trolling is okay.
yeah.
That's the part of the entertainment, you know.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah, I've done that
I
to
can't watch
Brandon.
Inoki alone.
I've done that at Brandon's many times. They be in a discussion, and I'll drop a super chat with a question, and then they'll be like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
This
did it
leads
with
me
Nathan.
to this reminds me. What happened to Brandon's channel? Brandon Toy. That was his name. He took over Ranty's channel.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just
So
he stopped doing the show one day.
yeah, he just
Oh man,
stopped one day.
that was a good source of laughs there.
Yeah. There's many theories as to why he left. No one knows for sure, but I
Yeah,
mean,
and that's one of the plays that I used to enjoy listening to it. Not always, depends on the people that was there because there
yeah.
was a
Well,
point that some nasty people took over and they were taking over the show. I didn't watch the
yeah,
shows, but when they were just the regular people, I mean, I don't know, the random people, the leakers, the lemons, the just
Or
random
whatever.
people, you know,
yeah,
I listened to it, and then there was always participation, like Left Lane was there, or you, Bibolo. There was random people going there, so it was fun for me to listen. And they actually gave you a break, unlike other places like Nathan never give a break to somebody to make their points.
yeah.
Yeah, it
I
never
read,
ended up well. He ended up
I just,
they disrespecting and yelling at people, but still there was a point, you know, there was an opportunity at the beginning, the conversation, that actually we were able to listen to the comments and
yeah. Well, just like recently, I know, and Jose, I know you don't like Res Rhetoric, but he was gone for a long time, and there's a reason. The reason for that was,
You're
he had a
getting
few
muffled
deaths
again.
in the
You're
family.
getting muffled again. I didn't
You're
hear
all
you.
over the place.
Is that better?
There you
Kind of.
go.
Because you're moving.
No, it's windy out here. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I know you don't like Red's rhetoric, but he's been gone for a long time, and there's a reason why is because he had a few deaths in the family. So I mean, some of us, I guess, have just got to take a break. If we have something happen in our lives, we just got to kind of step back and focus on what's important. And maybe that's what Brandon did. He just, something
Yeah, it
happened,
was. Yeah, the
and
brother
he just
died.
took a step back and was like, look, I need to focus on something that's more important.
Yeah, family, a career, a job, family,
Yeah,
just his own well-being and mental, status, whatever it is.
Or maybe he figured out the Earth was a globe and realized, wow, how much of an idiot I look
And,
like.
and
And
slide
just
it through the back
walked
door. See,
away.
Yeah.
yeah, he left through the
Thank
back
you for
door
that.
like, very quietly.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anything can happen. Anything could have happened. You know.
Yeah, a lot of people disappear. That's what happened. They just leave through the back door, slide out. Lel, what's up,
But
man? You're here. We can begin the show now. Lel's here.
I did drop him a super chat that last show about something he should look into, and he said he'd look into it, and ever since that was his last show. So I don't know.
Sorry, when you said that I was chewing. I didn't think people wanted to hear me chew.
No,
I'm
you're
gonna do.
absolutely right.
So I was going to say that I've been on Nathan's show once. And what happened is they said, so you're Glober? And I said, yep. And any argument you can't say won't change the fact that the Earth is rotating 15 degrees per hour and Coriolis effect exists. And then they started trying to sum up that simple statement, and I asked, how can you sum up something that is summed up? And then I just left because it wasn't worth arguing.
Well, Fundy.
I don't get why they want to sum up something that is summed up.
They're idiots.
Because they want to try and pick apart your statement and then use some sort of logic and semantics to try and break it down. Not actually look at the evidence of what you're saying.
No, they're
That
not
only
people.
the comment that I made in the beginning, and I asked, yeah, that only happens on the internet, right? I mean, like online, because there's no place if there's gonna be either a movie that I don't like, a little girly movie or a cartoon movie. I don't know. There's a cartoon movie or animated movie. I hate them since I was, I don't know, 17. I never watched animated movies. But if there's this new Buzz Lightyear, there's a movie, and I get recommended the movie trailer. I haven't even watched the trailer only because it's an animated movie. I hate animated movies. Do you think I'm gonna waste my time to go to the movie theater to either watch the movie trailer if I'm not gonna watch the movie? Do you think I'm gonna go to the movie theaters to watch that movie, waste my money, and just to sit in there and say like, oh, this is shit, this is crap, to criticize it? It is bullshit. That shit only happens on the internet. Never seen that in real life. If there's a party of a neighbor that I hate, I don't know, if I see a guy that I never spoken with him, it's like, yeah, come to my party, and I'm just walking over there, and I see 2 or 3 people that I just don't like, don't appreciate, or it's just some weird music, and it's weird. I said like, nah, I'm not gonna like it there. You think I'm gonna keep going and push through it and go inside to what? To what? Criticize him
No.
and to say how bad it was? No, I just don't show up.
Exactly.
That's why this community is so. It's probably one of the most unique communities on the internet. But that's exactly what we do. We come here just to basically argue with people that have different views about the shape of the earth. Even though we know their view is incorrect. They think their view is correct, but we enjoy the argument basically. I mean, I was never on the debate team in high school, but maybe some people were on a debate team and just enjoyed debating things.
I didn't go to that.
But I
sort of
mean,
thing.
with some things there should be no debate. Like
There
the
isn't.
shape of the earth, there's no debating that because it's a fact. It's a
Exactly.
known fact.
That's why I find that it's just entertaining. But for a debate, you need two parties to debate. You cannot say we're going to have a debate and I'm going to take over all the time and I'm going to be the only one speaking and I'm going to interrupt you
Yep.
and talk over you every time that you try to say something. For a debate, there's two parties needed, not just one.
Ask Dimok,
Yep.
I don't think he agrees.
That's like a lot of them. They don't like to, there's those few that you really can't have a conversation with.
I'm convinced that flat earthers hate my questions because they're so simple that even a first grader could answer them, but yet they have to jimmy around and skirt around the actual question. Like the few questions I asked the other day to Lemon Bird. And he didn't even
Leo,
answer.
you really can't question Lemon Bird and get a straight answer.
Well, the funny thing is, it
Yeah, I
doesn't
mean-
matter. I used him as an example. Any flat earther that I've asked those simple questions won't answer the actual question.
Well, no, because they know what the answer is and they don't like that answer, so they're not going to give it to you. I think you'll find most of them are well aware that the Earth isn't flat.
Like I was talking to I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, go for it.
I was talking to Bandsaw and we were talking about LIGO. And I was like, well, do you believe that the blueprints are when they constructed it, do you think they were incorrect somehow? And he wouldn't give me a straight answer because he kept telling me, "Oh no," it's like no, they didn't. They didn't worry about the shape of the Earth. They didn't care about the curvature of the Earth. They just built it. And I'm like, well, okay, so I'm like, so why are the blueprints the way they are? Why are the measurements the way they are? Why does it say, oh, they had to take the curvature of the Earth into account if they didn't? He said he kept saying that they didn't. I'm like, well, why do the blueprints say so then? And he wouldn't answer. He wouldn't answer the question.
No, because he knows what the answer is, and he doesn't like that answer, so he's going to pretend it's not there. It's the most basic of dishonesties, It's a big giveaway. It's a big giveaway if they want.
The neighbor across the street decided to put a very loud rock music. That's the first time.
And I think during that conversation, Doofus was making a really, really good point. And I can't do. Are you still here, Doofus?
No, he's gone.
No, he had to go.
Oh,
He's picking the kids up, I think.
He was saying either the tube was straight and the Earth was curved, or the Earth wasn't curved and the tube was not straight. It has to be either one because of the measurements.
And we know the tube was
Did
straight. They went to all that effort to make sure it was bloody straight.
Did anyone catch MC Toon's discussion with the guy that does stuff with satellites last night?
Oh man, yeah, I was listening to that. That was really good.
It was really good, but there's a lot of stuff that I have no idea about and never
so
heard.
much information in there. So much. That guy knew what the hell he was talking about.
The best part is when he said satellites don't answer the question. It's impossible. One satellite has enough coverage to go from way northern Canada to South America. There ain't a weather balloon that you could put high enough, or a satellite balloon that you could put high enough for that to occur.
Correct.
It's close. You can work out the location of a satelloon easily, and use trigonometry to figure out how high it is and where it is, unlike another satellite.
It's very simple. Satellites have to be fake. It's as simple as that. They have to be. As soon as they acknowledge that satellites are real, goodbye flat Earth. And if they're being real, then they'll just say, "Well, we don't know what's up there. You know, we don't know, and you don't either."
Well, I need soil to replant a few plants. I need to change the bigger pots, but there are only two things I can do. Either you guys can send me soil via mail. I think that's difficult. Or give me money so I can buy soil. Thank you.
Jose,
Jose,
it's dirt, man. You can just get some dirt from somewhere.
Dude,
Jose,
this is all this area in Florida. There's almost no. I mean,
No
around where I
sand.
live, it's almost sand. Like the whole thing. The dirt is
Yeah,
sand.
yeah.
Yeah,
I will sell you some Alabama red clay, Jose.
yeah, man.
Jose, I recommend you go to Flat Earthers to reinvent the wheel of how to plant plants. I mean, that's what they do
Yeah,
for every other phenomena. Someone gave
yeah,
you
you
10
can't.
Australian dollars or whatever that A means.
Hells
Yeah, you
to the
can't.
yeah.
Yeah, Jose, you can't appeal to authority, so you got to do it yourself.
All right, we're about to have the notification, and while the notification is going, shut up. Give it a few seconds. That is Christopher Walken asking for more cowbell. Thank you very much. For 10 Australian dollars, my mom bakes cakes. Thank you so much. This is for Jose for his excellent question regarding the sunset a few days ago, demonstrating how to ask a simple question but get word salad in return. Thank you so much. That is one of my favorite methods of asking a question about a sunrise or sunset. You must look at my camera, look at me, and then we will both use our physical body to point our hands to point at the path of the sun. I'll do that later one more time for those who are just didn't catch it a few days ago. I'm gonna probably ask that every single day in the top of my show. So thank you. My mom bakes cakes. Boom. Sorry, there's a hot music, loud music. I don't know if you guys hear that. I hope not. Too bad.
The one thing that also struck me as kind of cool with that guy that MC Toon talked to is that he lives in the very northern part of Alaska, and he's witnessed 24-hour daylight.
All right, very quickly. Big hails to the fucking yeah. Marcus Dresden sent me $20 via PayPal with the money. Hey, money symbol. Thank you, Marcus Dresden. You're the man, bro. You know what? What's today? Wednesday. Because I'm gonna end the show late, and the next door where they sell the soil is too late. But tomorrow I will get that because of this $20 that you sent me. Thank you, Marcus. I will replant my plants to try to eat some tomatoes, carrots, and peppers out of them. Boom. Now we got Snoop Dogg in the background. Shout out to Chaik, Ortiz Live, Farmer's Boy, Fred the Magnificent, Left Lane, Stanley Wipes, and the other Merle. Boom.
So yesterday I thought I lost my. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, it's nothing really important. I'll just say yesterday I lost my key to my motorcycle. Well, I thought I lost it, and turns out I put it in my bag, but it fell in one of the pockets that I never use. So I had to have checked my bag about 10 times trying to find this damn key. retraced my steps all over the base. You know, came out here about 10 o'clock last night looking for this damn key, and it turns out it was right in my bag the whole time.
Well, at least it was safe then.
Yeah, I know, but my goodness.
Yeah, I've got a rucksack like that I tend to use if I'm out on the bike. It's got so many bloody pockets inside. Every now and then I'll I'll empty it and find things I've forgotten about because they've been in there for months. You know.
Yeah. I thought I was going crazy. Like, there's no way. I never lose my keys.
Yeah, it's when you start doubting your own sanity.
Yeah. So did okay? I missed the day when it was a lunar eclipse. I didn't get a chance to see it because, of course, being on this side of the Earth, it wasn't visible. But did anybody get any footage of that? I think Al K might have got some.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Alan Evans was going to try, but we had the typical UK curse of cloud. So.
Oh yeah.
As invariably happens when something like this is going on, it's like you just look up and go, no.
I'm going to be very pedantic here, guys, and Balanced Truth is in the chat saying that you can't have a straight line on a globe. I can definitely walk in a straight line for miles on a globe, and it's fine.
Yes.
You can't have a straight line. Hold my beer for a second.
Well, people drinking can't walk in a straight line on a globe, or period, but the shape of the Earth has nothing to do with that.
Let me just walk out to the center of this field here.
Well, my point is that I can walk in a straight line for miles on a globe, and it's fine.
Oh, you anamorphic mind, you son of a bitch. Now I need $10 to buy me some taco stuff. It looks like a Mexican pizza, like stuff. Fuck yeah, that looks so good. And for those in the audience, they say, what the fuck is Jose talking about? I used to love this little Mexican pizza, but it was just the top. Like you didn't have the bottom layer with the meat or nothing. It was just the top. You got the shell and then these fillings with the little meat in the top. But dude, it was so good. I think they stopped making them over here in their Pizza Hut. They were delicious.
Is it possible to have a horizontal plane that is not level?
Level with what?
That's the whole point of the question. Like if I have my eyesight and I'm looking straight out, is it possible to have a horizontal plane for my vision out and have it not be level?
Depends on which way you're looking at it.
Just because it's a horizontal plane doesn't make it level, unless you've leveled.
So look, there goes close to the straight line on grass.
Balanced Truths, if you want to come in voice chat, you can help me understand. A line that does not deviate from its path that it is on is a straight line. On a basketball, NBA basketball, there is a straight line that does not deviate from the path that it is on in the center of the basketball, and it curves around the entire basketball. And well, technically every line on that basketball.
No, because there's two lines. There's two other lines that are actually curved.
Right. Well, I'm talking about the center line because that's the most noticeable. And it's equal elevation from the center of the basketball.
Stop listening to Bev.
It's no straight lines or squares on a globe. I don't know what a square on a globe means. Because aren't city blocks laid out in squares? They're straight lines and it's on a globe.
She said, what did he say? He said there's no squares on a globe.
What do you think the equator is?
On a sphere.
The equator is a straight line that runs all the way around the globe.
Yeah, just like the basketball. Every line of latitude goes around, or longitude goes around the sphere.
Yeah, but they see that that's the thing. They can't make that connection.
No.
And you don't even have to go directly on the line of latitude. It could be anywhere in between. As long as you stay on that exact location, you can travel around the globe and stay in a straight line.
Damn it, I missed the opportunity for the siren. It was really loud, but the music was going on at the same time. I'm probably gonna go away from the keyboard for a few minutes in a minute. Gotta snack on something.
I think when people start discussing level and horizontal and just wordplay, you know you've lost an argument when you start having to define relationships between words to try and win, rather than just looking at the divergence of the surface of the earth and your straight fucking line.
Good morning, Stingray.
Good afternoon.
Actually, you're right. Good afternoon.
Evening.
It's evening. It's 5 to 9.
Yes, I know. I just
It's
realized.
actually good morning here. It's 9:57 a.m. on this side of the earth.
No, it's 1 o'clock p.m.
I just want to point out something that just proves a little bit of dishonesty, and I don't know whether it's outward dishonesty or just incredibly inward dishonesty. But when Gary said earlier the Celine Dion eclipse is destroys the globe, yet you'll hear him say that light smushes and bends, and then if you think about it, Gary, the light smushes and bends only needs to be a fraction of a degree for a Celine Dion eclipse to work on a globe.
It does, obviously. But how would you describe flat Earth at all?
Oh no, it's brilliant. Flat earthers attack the globe for the Celine Dion eclipse, because it might just not work. With 10,000 foot elevation, of course it'd work. But if you're on the surface, it might just not work if light didn't bend. But on a flat Earth, there's no fucking way that can exist at all.
But light does bend, so it does work.
Be listening in the background.
Didn't get that.
When have I ever said anything about light smushing and bending? Can you show me any time I've said it?
Well, you call it perspective, convergence, compression, something, which obviously means the light
Which has
must
nothing to do with
bend.
light bending or smooshing.
What
So
is
you just
Oh, wait
literally
a minute,
made
wait a
up
minute. So
you
let me get
made
this
up
straight, Gary.
something and said I said something, and I never said anything
All
like
right,
that.
all right. Apologies. This
Typical
smushing.
Globies. You're like
No,
B-ball.
okay. No, you ready? I'm going to apologize. I apologize. You must think the alternative then, that the physical object scales down and squishes in physical space, and it's not the light coming from it, that in order to do that would have to, wait for it, bend.
No, your angle just foreshortens, and you just simply have no space for that light to have in your field of view. Comes to a point.
Gary, can you please define compression in your own words for me? What does compression mean?
When your angles are foreshortened, when your angles foreshorten the information into a smaller space, that's compression.
Define compression in general, not specifically to
Okay, when you look at a railroad going down the line, the rails seem to be merging towards each other when in reality they're not, right? We know that. So they're compressing towards each other. That angular space in between the rails is compressing because of the angle. Angular compression, henceforth.
Another word that can be used for compression is smush.
You can call it whatever you want. I've never used smushing, and I didn't say anything was bending. Simply space compresses in the distance. That's why an airplane far away up high up in the sky looks like it's barely moving.
Loads of times,
because even the sky is compressed.
Yeah, no, everything's compressed. Everything just compresses all the time. But
you just like to say apparent angular size change, but it's just compressing.
All right. So what you're doing is
you're taking
pixels, right? Okay, wait a minute.
Takes up less
what you're
pixels.
doing is taking a standard thing that everybody knows, like perspective, and taking the core concept or the explanatory process of it being something getting smaller with distance due to perspective, and you're adding your own words to it and defining in it a different way to what? Look smart? What's the purpose of that?
People use words to describe what they're talking about. If I just say angular size change, you don't get the idea of compression from angle when you're too close to a surface, the angle change to the surface. In other words, foreshortening.
Yeah, no. So if it's not a function of perspective, in other words, it's not tied to perspective with getting smaller the further away it gets. You're saying now that this effect is outside of those realms and is based on its angle to something else. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if your angle to a surface is not dead on 90 degrees from your perpendiculars to it, right? Straight on, look, that's the only thing that's not foreshortened, right? Because it's a dead on angle. But anything away from it, it starts to foreshorten. The farther down the surface you look, the more foreshortened the angles get. So it compresses whatever is in that space, gets compressed into less pixels.
No, I absolutely agree with you. But explain to me again how this works with something perpendicular to my vision rather than parallel to it. So how does a wall get disproportionately smaller at the bottom if it's facing me all the time and I am always above the lowest point of it?
You can't be below the lowest point of it because the lowest point is the bottom. Can you get below the bottom?
I said above the lowest point.
What's the lowest point?
The bottom of the wall. I am above the bottom of the wall.
Okay, so let's say you're 1 foot above the surface. So you have a compressed angle to the bottom. You have a more compressed angle to the top, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, less.
Especially if you're close to it, right? That because of the foreshortening effect to the top. And you move away, what happens? That bottom, because it's already at a point where you can't change much on that. So it's simply going to just shrink immediately as you move away. While that space to the top, because you're moving away, that foreshortening angle to the top actually starts becoming wider. And you actually see more of the top, less of the bottom. That's why I have the rubber band videos. It shows it quite clearly.
Yeah, so I've got a question here then. So if I've got a square and I'm very close to it, the top of the square is very, very narrow because of the foreshortening effect, which is just perspective. And then at the bottom, it's really wide. And when that moves away, it conforms more and more to the square until it's imperceivable from being a square. It will only ever get to being as close to a square as possible with infinite distance. Do you agree with that or not?
So what happens if I hold a square in front of me and then I tilt it over slightly?
No, keep
And I
it
keep
straight at
tilting
you
it
for this
around.
example.
Does it still remain a square? Yes, it does.
No,
But
no,
does it
let's
look like
keep,
a square?
wait a minute,
No,
wait
it
a minute.
doesn't.
Let's keep the surface pointed at us.
Foreshortening.
Wait a minute.
Compression.
Let's keep the surface pointed at us and not introduce any gish galloping bullshit. So I move this
Well, even
square
towards you, it's going to
away.
do the same thing.
I move this square away and it's always facing me. Never going to change. Facing me. I'm not going to turn it flat like a piece of paper and look
Are you
down and
dead
say, hey, look,
center?
it's
Your
gone.
line of sight is
Poof.
dead center with the
Right.
square?
So it's always facing me.
Wait. You answer that question. Is
What's
your
the
line
question?
of sight dead center with the square as it moves away from you?
Wouldn't matter as long as I'm above the bottom point of it.
No, because because your angle is not going to be the same to the top and the bottom.
Irrelevant at the moment.
Unless you're
It's only
dead
ever going to get
center.
to. Are you ready, Gary? It's only ever going to get to a square in my vision. Do you agree with that?
No,
Yes
actually
or no?
it won't. No, actually it won't. It will become something different.
What will it become, Gary? Please tell us.
The bottom will become unresolvable before the top, so you're going to have less than a square. Even though it's actually a square, you won't see it quite as a square. And
So-
I bet you anything, it's measurable if you have the instruments to do it with.
So this effect only happens vertically, or does it happen left to right as well?
It happens anywhere where you're not looking dead on. Could be at the surface. It could be the wall.
Okay.
Because
So
if you
brilliant.
look,
So
if you're facing the wall and then you look up towards the top, right? That top foreshortens, right? Because you have a different angle. It's not dead on.
So is it your hypothesis that if once this square eventually gets to be a square because it's a far further away, if we then move it further away, the bottom gets smaller than the top quicker? Is that what you're saying? Yes.
If you take a line, draw it to your line of sight on that square, then draw another line to the bottom of the square, then another line to the top of the square. Which angle is going to be biggest?
I'm just saying, does the bottom
No,
get
answer
smaller?
the question. You like people answering your questions. Answer the question. Don't just go on.
All
Which
right,
one's
well,
gonna have a
I'll
better
answer.
angle?
I'll tell you what. I'll answer your irrelevant question. I don't care. So now,
Well, answer
when
the
this
question.
square
Wait.
goes
You
away,
just said you don't
is this
care. You're not going to answer
square?
the question. No,
Listen to
when
this.
you answer
No,
the
I'm trying to
question,
get to
then
the
we'll
bottom of
keep
your
talking.
theory.
Answer
No.
the question first.
Whichever you think it is. Now, when this square
No.
goes away,
What do you think it is? Until you answer the question, I won't
the
answer
full
any more
height of the
questions from
square,
you.
the full height of the
You're
square is
done until you
the full,
answer
the
the
full,
question. Answer the question, or I'm just going to
Jesus
go
Christ,
on
Gary.
mute and I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to talk
May I
to
answer
you.
the question?
Answer the question.
The full height of the square is 1 degree. The middle of the square to the top is half a degree.
I'm talking
The
about
middle
your
of the
line of
square to the
sight. Now
bottom is half a
that's the
degree.
straight on point. Now you got a point to the bottom, an angle to the bottom. So you got an angle to the bottom that goes up to your line of sight point, back to your eye. Now you got that straight line going up to the top and your angle to the top. Now those are two different triangles, right? So which one's bigger?
So if I'm below the center point,
No, which one's bigger? We use your
where's the
example that
observer,
you're close
Gary?
to the bottom.
Where's
Which
the
one's
observer?
bigger?
Where's the observer, Gary?
You just said I'm using your example. You said he's
Slightly
close to the
above
bottom.
yeah?
He's close to the bottom. So
Yeah.
which angle
So-
is wider? The angle
right, so
from your line
let
of
me answer.
sight
Let me answer.
straight forward to the bottom, or your line of sight straight up to the top? Which angle is going
Right.
to be
So
bigger?
the angle from the bottom to the
God.
center is bigger than from the center to the top.
The angle from your eye to the top and your eye to the dead straight ahead. Now that's your angle. The vertex is at your eye in those 2 points. Now take it to the bottom. You got a completely different angle. Which one is bigger?
Right. So I've just answered you. If
No,
it's
not
a
right.
1
Answer
meter,
the question.
please,
Okay,
let me
I'm
finish.
done with
Let me finish.
you. Bye.
I've just
I'll come back
answered you.
when somebody else
So
comes on.
there,
Unless you
if
answer
there's
the
a
question, then I'll come
square,
right back on.
if there's a square that's 1 meter
Answer
high,
the question.
if there's a square that's 1 meter high, I know you don't like numbers and figures, Gary, but if there's a square that's 1 meter high, then from the bottom to half a meter high is going to be bigger in degrees, vertical degrees, than from the middle to the top if I am below center line. It is just truth.
So the angle to the top is bigger, like I said.
No, smaller. I've just explained
How
it to
can
you.
it be smaller? Unless you're standing
Because
right next to
if
the
we
building,
take
it can be smaller at the vertex.
if we
But as soon as
take
you move away, that changes.
if we take the center of this box and have a look from the center to the top, and we are below the center, that is always going to be a more acute angle to the surface and less degrees than looking at the more perpendicular section, which is the base to the middle. This is just simple fucking first grade
If you're
geometry,
standing
Gary.
right next to the square, yes. As you move away,
No,
those
doesn't matter.
angles all change, and the
Doesn't
one
matter.
to the bottom becomes increasingly smaller right away,
I'll tell
while
you
the
what,
one to the
bud.
top
I'll
changes
tell you
because
what,
your
bud.
angle to the top becomes
Stick to
wider.
milking fucking cows and leave the geometry to
I
me.
am
Yeah?
right, and you are wrong, and that's why you won't answer the question.
Yeah, no, that's it, Gary. 18 years of my experience and professional working career says I'm wrong, but you, milking all the tits in the fucking world from those cows, you're just right all the time.
You know what? I remember when the experts in the dairy industry told me a cow didn't know how to graze grass anymore because they've been locked up in barns too long. You know how total shit that is? These are experts. These are PhDs that come in and do all kinds of experiments with cows.
I'm sure your
And they
cows are
said a
very
cow couldn't
intelligent, Gary. I'm
graze.
sure
And
they
yet,
are.
if a cow gets out of the corral and goes into the grass, that's the first thing she does is puts her head and starts marching like a lawnmower.
May I please say something about this square?
Go for it, Chris.
Whatever the angle is from the top to from the center line to the bottom and from the center line to the top, if I move a certain footage backwards or any footage backwards, those two angles change equally the same. They don't.
No, they don't.
Doesn't
If you're closer to the bottom, that's why you got to watch my rubber band videos, which everybody laughs
sorry,
at.
Gary. Let me finish what I'm saying before you interrupt. If I move 1 degree, or 1 degree, I've moved 1 degree from the top and from the bottom. They both change at 1 degree. They don't change differently.
They do change differently. If you're closer to the bottom than the top, those angles will change differently.
They
No
are
shit, Sherlock.
different angles, but the angle will change equally. A
No,
1
it won't
degree
change
angle
equally. I'm
from the
sorry,
top
but
and
it's
the
just not
bottom
true.
will change
Watch my
equally.
rubber band videos. It's just simply not true. They don't change
Gary,
equally, and they don't
Gary,
change at
It
the
is
same
simply
rate.
true.
Gary, what are you comparing?
I'm saying I'm using a
You
Stingray's
compare a
original
small
thing where
angle
you got
to
the
a
square.
bigger angle.
You're closer to the
There,
bottom than the
okay,
top. You have an
okay,
angle. Your straight line.
sure,
You start with your straight line to the square, which is going to
okay,
meet somewhere at the
okay,
bottom, right? So that from
okay.
there, and then your angle from there to the
Uh,
bottom, and now the vertex is at your eye, all
sure,
right? So now you
sure.
got to the top of the building or to the top of the square, and so you got the angle straight forward. You got that one. You got that line, and then you got the angle to the top, and you got the vertex. Now, if you're standing right at the building, at first that vertex to the top will be narrower because you are closer to the bottom. But as soon as you start moving away, the bottom becomes smaller than the top one. The top one actually will increase temporarily or for a while because you're getting a wider angle the farther you move away, while the bottom just immediately
Okay,
starts to get smaller because if
okay.
you're and that's a
I
parallax
said
effect because you were
okay.
closer
I
to the
said
bottom.
okay, Gary. I said okay. Let's now
I'm not
reverse.
talking to you. I was talking
Okay.
to Lale.
So
I was talking to Lale.
okay. So
And
now let's
I don't
reverse.
disagree that the
Lel,
angles
shut up
change.
for a second. So now let's
He was talking to me,
reverse.
so I can't respond when he's talking to me. Okay, go ahead, Chike.
Now let's reverse what you said. Okay. I'm now a little below the top of the building. What's happening now? Which should disappear first, the top or the bottom?
The top will get smaller faster, but it won't disappear because the bottom
Ah,
has to reach the top first. So what you'll see is if as you move away, you'll see the ground slanting up towards eye level and squishing that. Extra J has a very good video on this.
So what now
He's got some
blocks?
socket wrench. He's got some sockets
So listen,
and they're all equal
Gary.
size. He gets his center frame of his camera
Gary,
on
I'm
it,
not
and then he moves the
interested. I'm
sockets
not
away. Guess
interested.
what? They stay at eye level, while the
I'm
bottom
not
compresses
interested.
up towards it.
So you had a reason for things to disappear bottom up because the angle gets smaller at the bottom rather than the top. But now that we have the angle on the top getting smaller, according to you, I didn't say it, according to you, now there is a different reason for the thing to disappear bottom up. So
Yeah, because
whichever
you
the
also still have your
situation, you
angles
have
and your
a
field of view, which is different. That's a
listen,
separate
Gary.
part of your
Listen,
perspective.
Gary. Oh,
That's why
so
the horizon
now
will
you
move out
have
further when you have
different
that
reasons.
situation.
You have different reason for the same phenomenon. One is when you down. One thing it's cause it to happen, and when you're up, it's a different thing that cause it to happen. It's not
No,
the
it's still
same
the
thing
same
always.
reason, and
No,
it'll just be at a
the
further
same
point
reason.
out. The top is always the furthest thing from the surface. It'll be the last thing to become unresolvable at the surface. It'll just be further out if you start off higher.
No,
Remember,
listen,
higher you
the
are, the
angle to
bigger
the
angle you got,
bottom,
the
the
further the
angle to the
horizon will
bottom,
be
I'm
out.
reminding you, the angle to the
No, it'll
bottom,
still squish.
the
That bottom's
angle
gonna
to the
squish to the top.
bottom, but the angle to the bottom is bigger than the angle to the top. Therefore, what should disappear first is the top and not the bottom, Gary.
No, because as the
That
thing
was
moves away
your
from you,
reasoning.
the ground slants upward towards your eye level. It
No,
squishes that bottom into the
why it
top.
slants
The
up?
top
Why?
is still going to be the last
Why?
thing there. I hate to tell
The
you, it's
biggest
still going to be the
angle,
last thing there
the
because
biggest
it's just going to be
angle,
further out because you have a
but
wider angle
the
to start
biggest
with.
angle is to the bottom, Gary. That's your excuse for things disappearing bottom first. Because the angle is smaller, is narrower, you lose information when it gets too small. Now I reverse the situation. And you find something else to blame it on the ground that's slanting up now. Never mind the angle is bigger, like it was before, but now the ground is slanting up. What about the sky that's slanting down? Get serious, Larry and Gary.
Sorry, the mail was
Hey,
coming. I
Gary.
had to stop for a second. No, you still have, because there's two things that are involved in your perspective. It's your field of view to start with based on your elevation above the surface at center frame. That has a limit there in depth and
Gary,
distance based on your elevation. So you move further, and that's
Gary,
why with this thing where you're at the top, it's just
Gary,
going to be further out. It's still going to compress up to that eye level.
Gary, my field of view doesn't change.
Psyche.
It doesn't depend on how high
No, I'm
I am
explaining
or
why
what
you
I'm
started high,
looking
and
at.
so it's just going to be further out.
My
It's still going to
field
compress
of
at your
view,
eye
I
level.
don't know about yours, but my field of view never changes. It's the same size all the fucking time. Or we're not talking about the same thing. That could be.
Oh, there's a screen share by Leo.
Okay, you can see the screen share or not.
Do you would like the audience to see what you're sharing, Leo?
Sure.
Okay, I'm on it.
So, in this drawing, I have your center of vision at a certain point on the building. You have an angle from that center line down and an angle from that center line up. If I go so that center line up angle is a half a degree smaller, that same distance will make the center line down a half a degree smaller. That's a fact. That's all I have this up here for.
What's going on?
Both of those angles will equally diminish based on distance. One won't get smaller quicker.
Well, we all agree that, yeah, mathematically, sure. But
well, in reality,
well, think about this. Let me give you an example. Think of the boat that you see with writing
we're going
on.
with this. We're going with this because we're talking about the building and the center line of vision, and we're talking about moving an extra half a degree away. Both angles.
You want an example?
I'm giving the perfect example. Both angles will equally move at a half a degree if I keep on moving back far enough
All
for
right,
that
Leo.
to be
Leo,
different.
just so you can process, for a second, for 10 seconds. Shout out to John Watson for a $5 super chat. Thank you for helping the channel out, John Watson. Squished or smooshed, Gary? You've now mentioned both. Which is it? Squished or smooshed? Shout out to John Watson. Brian Leake is in the house. Everybody say thanks, John, and help the channel out however you can, guys. What's up, Brian?
Yeah, man, just chilling. I was just gonna tell Leo, yeah, mathematically you could show that all day, but in reality, I was gonna pull up the centerline boat, and show how them letters compress at the bottom. You know, where's that in the mathematics? That's what we see. That's why anytime you see a boat with letters on it, you'll see the letters literally compressed. So where's that in the mathematics?
Brian, I'm talking about taking a tool to measure the angles, and as you walk away, the angles will equally be smaller than they were before. When you measure those angles, if I move a half a degree, both the top angle and the bottom angle will change at a half a degree. There's no difference. They don't change differently because one is smaller than the other.
Leo, put yourself anywhere but the middle of that picture, and you're literally wrong. If you got yourself in the middle of that picture, so they're gonna compress it.
The building's 20 feet tall.
Excuse me, I was almost done, Leo.
Looking at the building, then why do I need to place myself anywhere but where I'm at?
Just really quickly.
I'm gonna answer you. I'll answer you.
Sorry.
Leo,
just really quickly, Leo. You mean proportionally, not at this, not 1 degree from the top, 1 degree from the bottom. You just mean proportionally.
Right. They will equally.
Cowbell is going on. Cowbell is going on. When if I interrupt, it's gonna be there's 10 seconds, actually 11 seconds. Then there's a ding ding ding, a cowbell. We got Christopher Walken saying that that we need more cowbell. So you guys know that is overpowering everything that we are saying in here. So for those 10 seconds, I mean, I'll let you know, super chat, and that's those 10 seconds. So you can maybe like just stretch what you gotta say and then wait for 10 seconds and spit it out. Shout out to Zima, $10 super chat, $10 by Zima with a brimming face with smiling eyes. Thank you, Zima. I appreciate that. Just to help the channel. Everybody say, thanks, Zima. Boom.
Stingray.
It's funny when we're listening to YouTube, you hear that cowbell, it starts jingling in here, like we can't hear it. So anybody listening, if we're going on talking, but it's funny hearing the cowbell and the fucking mooing on YouTube.
Yes, Chris.
So, with my little thing that I was demonstrating, if I was taking a tool and say like the top angle was, I don't know, let's say 15 degrees and the bottom angle was 14 degrees, and I move far enough away that now the top angle is 14.5 degrees, the bottom angle is going to be a half a degree shorter too. It moves equally.
Not on your diagram. The only way that would be true is if your center line intersected the center of the object and both the top angle and bottom angle were equal. What you mean is proportional. So in other words,
let me give you an example too.
So if you back away, let's say in your diagram it was 3 times more than it, at the top than it was at the bottom. Doesn't matter. It could be 1 degree and 3 degrees, or it could be 5 degrees and 15 degrees. If you back away and one is 20% less, the other will be 20% less, but that's not the same amount of degrees.
Let me give it in Lail terms real quick, Stingray. Like if you're looking straight out and your field of view, let's say is 180 degrees straight out in front of you from or almost 180. If you're down at the bottom and if you're just a degree or two, whatever, if you're down at the floor, how can things below you compress up at the same rate when you have about 170 degrees of your field of view above you and only 10 degrees of it below you? How can they compress proportionally, Lil? It only works like Stingray said, if it's right in the middle.
Things don't ramp up. What happens is you move away from things, the top appears to be getting lower. The bottom stays at ground level. The top appears to be getting lower, not the bottom.
You don't understand what I
higher.
said or Stingray said.
Yeah, listen,
Anybody else
Brian.
got a way to put it?
Yeah, Brian. We don't care how much they compress. We care how much they take in our field of view. What angle do they take? Not how much they compress. Who
Stingray,
cares?
try and give another example so these people understand it, man.
I understand what Stingray was saying.
Yeah, because the angle is just a function of perspective, which is double the distance, half the size. And from that, you can work out using basic trig, everything. So obviously, if the lowest part of it is smaller than the highest part of it, you halve both those sizes, even though proportionally you've halved both of them. One decreases in size a lot quicker than the other in a kind of delta, difference sense.
Did you get that, Lil?
Yeah, I got it the first time. Why do you have to have?
Well, fix your statement then. Fix your demonstration.
No.
And put your observer at the top or the bottom.
No, Lael's diagram still works.
I am standing on the ground looking at the top of a building. Why do I have to be anywhere else besides where I want to be?
He doesn't understand what you're saying, Stingray. He literally doesn't.
No, he does, Brian, and his diagram worked. I was just saying he meant the diagram that he drew works, and the question is valid, and the point is valid. It's just the rate is different because it's a proportional rate.
Right, that's what I'm trying to explain to him. But you think he's understanding what you're saying with the rate? Okay, well then why is he arguing that it'll change? He's saying that it'll continue to change at the same rate, even if you're at the bottom or the top. So he doesn't understand what you're saying, bro. Literally.
I do too. Why are you putting words in my mouth that I didn't say?
Maybe you don't understand what he said, Brian.
Okay, so you still think, even after what Stingray said, you still think if the viewing angle is not proportional, if it's not centered, you're still saying that everything will compress at the same rate proportionally as if you were in the center. That's what do you think?
That's not what I'm saying. If the building is 100 feet tall, I'm not going to
saying.
Brian, if I'm staying next to a 100-foot tall building, am I looking at the center of the building, or am I looking eye level 6 feet high on the building?
Are you talking about something close up? Are you changing your example now, or
Well, it doesn't matter. My line of sight is still 6 feet, no matter how far I walk backwards. The direct line of sight from how high my eyes are off the surface of the earth is 6 feet.
What do you think Stingray's saying? What do you think Stingray's saying then? What point is he making then?
That they proportionally decrease in size.
Try again, Stingray.
No, Lyle's correct. They do proportionally, not in degrees velocity. You can't take one away from the other, but they proportionally. If you lose 10% from the top, you lose 10% from the bottom. That's not 10 degrees, nor would it be equal if you stay out different. So Lyle's correct in what I just said.
Okay, but if you're at the bottom, okay, they're not gonna change proportionally as if you're in the. Well, just say this, and dude, don't fuck with me. I mean, let's be straight up here. If you're at the bottom of a field of view, entire field of view, is the bottom gonna visually compress at the same rate as the top?
It's going to proportionally compress, not in degrees, but in proportion. So therefore, the following statement is true. If the top portion represents 10 degrees and the bottom portion represents 1 degree, and I back away to make the top represent 5, then the bottom 1 degree becomes half a degree. That's proportional. That's a 50% proportion reduction.
Say that again.
I understood what he said.
Right. So if you have a 1 degree at the bottom,
the equal percentage, the percentage as you move away is equal, 10%, 20%, 80%, but the amount of degrees is not 1-to-1. I understand exactly what Gary said.
Got it. So if
But
you're at the bottom, it's not
on the
1-to-1.
surface of the earth, and the building is 100 feet tall, my direct line of sight is 6 feet on that building. If you draw a horizontal line from the center of my vision outward, it's going to be about 6 feet high.
Right. And so anything
That
underneath
line,
that, anything
and
underneath
that
that,
line
Lyle,
stays at 6 feet high no matter how far back I move.
got it. So anything underneath that, okay, anything, and if the rest of your vision is 160 degrees, or 100, and that 6 foot is let's say 1 degree, they can't compress uniformly. It's not possible. If you have 160 degrees in the top of your field of view out in the distance and 1 degree underneath, then it can't be proportional, apparently. Or you could draw it on paper with a center line and show half a degree at the top, half a degree at the bottom, but that's just not reality. That's not what we see.
Brian, when you take a camera and you zoom in and out, do proportion changes? Some small buildings suddenly become bigger or smaller. When you move away from building, do proportions change? Where do you live, Brian?
Sure. But do you understand that the clouds above you they're gonna ramp down at a different rate to something just barely over your head?
No, not if I move away from them. No.
Not the cloud.
I'm trying to go extreme so y'all see what I'm saying. The clouds above me are gonna ramp down faster than the street lights.
Well, because they follow a curve. What can we do?
Oh, so the clouds ramp down because of Earth curve. All right, I rest my case right there. Anybody who's listening, the clouds ramp down because of Earth curve. Thank you.
Well, what else?
Yes, but if it's the same cloud above the same building, they will both ramp down at the same rate.
I want to mention that the line of sight thing that I was talking about, Brian, of my eyesight being 6 feet above the surface of the ground. As I move back, the position on the building will change, and so the angles will change. And those angles, like,
oh shit, dude, nobody's arguing that, Lale. Y'all being willfully ignorant, man.
Quit interrupting me. Like,
bro, you're saying obvious shit, dude, and acting like I'm arguing that. I'm not arguing the obvious. What I'm saying is that if you only have 1 degree in your field of view at the bottom, there's no way these can compress equally if you have 160 degrees above, out in the distance, in the top of your field of view. They can't compress equally if you've got 1 degree compared to 160 degrees. It's not even mathematically possible. So y'all are being willfully ignorant. I'm not disagreeing with the obvious shit you're saying, bro. Don't make it out that I am, bro. That's like a super straw man.
Then why are you saying anything besides talking about the building? Why are you talking about clouds? I've never said anything about clouds.
Well, I'm just trying to give you an extreme example because you're showing a image with our vision dead in the center. And I'm trying to tell you that it's
the center of the building would be at 50
top
feet.
and the bottom. And I can't even get anybody to agree with that. That's weird.
Brian, the center of the building would be 50 feet high, not 6 feet.
So you think things will change exactly the same at the bottom if you're 1 foot off the ground compared to if you're 5 miles off the ground?
Well, if I'm 5 miles off the ground, there ain't any building 5 miles high. So I'd be looking down at the building all the time. So the dip angle would decrease as I get further away from the building.
Okay, let's say you're half a mile above the ground and we're looking at mountains in the distance. Don't mention nothing up close. I'm not speaking of nothing up close. I'm talking about shit way out in the distance, okay? And you have mountains off in the distance. If we're up a half a mile and you think that everything's going to compress the same, the clouds over the mountains, the, whatever, airplanes compared to the ground. My point is, and I don't know why everybody ain't agreeing with this, is that things will pretty much join, compress, whatever you want to call it, and at the center of our vision out in the distance. So if you're at the bottom of our field of view, things at the top are going to have to appear to come down toward the horizon, angle down toward the horizon faster than something lower. So in other words, the clouds are going to appear to ramp down to the horizon at a different rate than the street post. Because if you draw it on paper, you will literally be drawing a different angle.
Hey, Brian, I got a question for you. If I'm looking at the same building that's 100 feet tall, do the bottom of my eye see the top of the building? Or is it just from the center upward that sees the top?
What? Say that again?
Do the bottom of my eyes see the top of the building, or just a portion of my eye? Does my whole eye see it, or just a portion?
You have a field of view. It doesn't matter what direction your eyes are looking. You have a field of view from your location.
I'm not talking about field of view. I'm talking about my entire eye seeing the top of the building. Does my entire eye see it, or just the top half of my eye?
I don't know about all that, man. I think that's off topic, but you can explain what you mean. I'm about to be in a dead zone. I'll be able to look.
It's right on topic is a problem, because it destroys the whole argument about the top and bottom of your vision. If the bottom of your eye sees the top of the building, then what the heck are you splitting it in half for?
So you're disagreeing that if you're 1 foot off the ground,
I'm disagreeing with your
you're
whole
1 foot off the ground.
top half and bottom half of vision. If the bottom of your eyes see the top of the building, and the top of your eyes see the top of the building, then what's this argument about top and bottom half of vision? There is no argument.
You won't agree with me on this simple fact that shit, if you're down at the bottom looking out at a field of view, if you have no room underneath and your whole field of view is basically above you, okay, you won't agree that things ramp down disproportionately, apparently? You can't even agree with that?
No, because I'm asking a simple question and you're running from it.
I'm out. If nobody defends me, I'm out of here now. If nobody defends me, I'll kindly go the other way.
Please tell me, answer the question. Does your complete eye see? Oh, look, he left.
Oh, well.
Maybe
You
Gary
fault,
can
Gary.
answer the question then.
You fool, Gary. Why didn't you defend him?
I was getting into the groove of sharing pictures of the fields of views and stuff.
There's some very nice fields, yeah. Look at that one, it's full of weeds.
I guess that's the question that should have been asked in the beginning. Does your complete eye perceive the building, the top of the building, or just portions of your eye? What do you think, Farmer's Boy?
I don't.
You don't think? How about you, cameraman Stingray?
Too late.
Are you still here? I think he's gone too.
Got bored listening to Brian, to be honest.
And
Do you get too mad at you, Lael, because you pressure him too much? Shout out to Trolls versus Trolls. He's back. Back, babe.
No.
Maybe Brian got mad because he asked you a few times questions and you didn't answer him. You decided to keep asking your only question that you had. And because he answered it the way he wanted.
He didn't answer it.
He answered it the way he wanted. Yeah. The way he wanted to answer it is by asking questions, but you didn't want to answer the questions he was asking for clarification. So yeah, you were talking past each other and he did the right thing. He left. I mean, I would have liked him to stay and talk to more people, but before he loses his shit, I'd rather have people to drop by yourself and just go and take a breather, you know. Hopefully he come back. But now you got to take it upon yourself, Leo, and I don't know, either make the point, continue talking, or do something, because we lost Brian. We wanted to have an opposite view conversation, but somehow while talking to you, he went away. So you are responsible for taking over. Leal, go ahead. The floor is yours.
I propose the idea that your entire eye sees the top of the building, not just a portion. Does anyone have any opposing point of view on that?
No. No, your eye doesn't have selective view like that.
Right, so your whole eye perceives both the top and the bottom.
Of course it does.
Just depends on where you look.
Yep.
Okay, well, sorry. I'm just back, and I just thought, fuck it, I'll disagree with this. It actually depends. If I'm being utterly fucking pedantic, anything above the center line of my eye is perceived by the bottom part of my eye. Just saying.
I don't understand what you just said. Can you help me understand what you said?
Because when the light comes in from the top, anything above centerline vision, it actually comes in through the lens element and inverts and hits the bottom part of my retina. So anything that I see at the top is actually seen by the bottom part of my eye and vice versa. I'm just saying. But I'm being an ass.
Yes.
So if I understand what you're saying is you see the top of the building with both the bottom and the top of your vision, right?
No,
Well,
I only see it with the bottom.
There's just practically no significance to it. Is what it,
No, there's still no significance to it. But I'm just saying that anything above the center line of my eye is seen by the bottom of my eye, and anything on the ground is seen by the top part of my eye.
Stingray, stop being a tit.
I know. I will.
Bad boy, go to your room. Oh, hang on, that's not a punishment. Shit.
Go stand in the corner and don't play with any of your toys.
Hey, the toys is where I keep most of my. Well, every corner's got toys. For God's sake, have you seen my office?
Yeah. Go stand in the middle of the room.
Yeah, well, actually, in the middle of the room, there's just Cat 7 cable at the moment, but I can still play with that, so I'm fine.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Oh dear. So, the Earth curving isn't responsible for clouds sort of appearing to drop.
I just want to announce it's a dance-off now, bro. Anamorphic Mind and me. I just challenged him to a dance-off. He's gonna make the first move. Oh shit, going down. Anamorphic Mind is doing it.
There are so many cool gifts.
Oh, he's doing it. Okay, this is my response to him. There you go. Vote 1 if you like Anamorphic Mind moves. Vote 2 if you like my moves. And we got music and all that shit. I better mute myself. Getting copyright strike shit.
Oh dear. Oh, blimey. Shots fired. Oh dear.
Shout out to everybody in YouTube chat. If you haven't clicked the thumbs up yet, please make sure to click the like. Only 29 today have thumb up this video. Share the show and support. A great support today. I had earlier Marcus Dresden with a $20 bribery PayPal, and I had a few super chats. Thank you all for your support. I'm just opening PayPal to see if I have getting any other blessings, but no, Marcus Dresden was the last one sending me money. No, not for bribery, so he can type spam stars and type that leaky socks and flutters are dumb as fuck. That's not it. I'm just saying.
Oh, what's the matter, Fred? Do you want to be a mod? Oh dear. Easy going down the road, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't do a proper poll, and people don't know which one is anamorphic, which one is me. It's just well. 45 people watching it. I don't know, a dance off.
So right now it's a toss up between YMCA and in the Navy.
Good shit.
Actually, Jose, I'm in a dead zone. I'm having to walk away, so I figured I'd use that for a dramatic exit. But also, I kind of figured somebody would defend me. I just want to ask Layla a question. I got another minute or so. I wanted to clear that. But so Layla, if we're standing 6 foot off the ground, on a flat plane, and the clouds ramp down to the horizon, and so do the street posts, and let's say so do the tippy top of a line of trees off to the side of our vision. Are they ramping down at the same angle if we're at the field of view, if we're at the bottom of that field of view at the ground? Are the clouds apparently ramping down at the same rate and angle as the lamp posts, just barely above our heads? No. Answer is no. That's the only point I was trying to make.
Why do we have different calculators drops for different heights?
Well, like Zoom, the way you were describing earlier, Zoom, Chaiki, people mistake that for seeing out further, like literally, like the camera or the telescope or whatever is reaching out optically, but it's not. It's just enlarging the field of view that you see from that point. It's just enlarging what's in that field of view. So
No,
not
yeah, I was going to say,
mistaken
it's
with
not enlarging the field of view, it's actually reducing it.
you know what I'm saying though. At a specific point, it's focusing.
Magnifying. That's what
Right,
it does.
right.
Nothing magnifies. It's all they do.
There you go.
A telephoto lens, a zoom lens, a telescope, a set of bins, anything. All they're doing is magnifying it.
Right. So you would agree it's not reaching out into the distance.
How the hell can it reach out? All it's seeing is
Well, the way
light coming into it.
The way people describe it, sometimes they make it seem like you're stretching out further or something, and that's just not the case.
I've never heard that myself because that's just errant nonsense.
Yeah, you've never heard that. I'm sure you have.
No, I haven't, because that's not how it works.
Yeah, I know. So there's no point in trying to compare something zoomed with a regular, a regular eyesight.
Why not?
Really?
Why not?
Can you tell the difference? If I show you two pictures, one is zoom and one is taken from very close, would you be able to tell the difference?
Sure. Like I said, you're basically focused. Your field of your view is focusing in on a point. So it's
at one, the object will take the whole field of view, let's say 120 degrees, and in the other it will take only 10 degrees, but only from very far, from further away. Would you be able to tell the difference between?
Let me give an example of what I'm saying, Trace. I understand what you're saying. I don't disagree with that. My point is this: say if you're looking out in the distance and you have a tree blocking half the clouds, let's say the tree is about just a couple hundred feet away, so it's blocking the clouds way off in the distance. Okay, but there's some clouds right above the tree, and then the clouds come all the way up to above your head. If you zoom in, you're not going to get a different angle from the tree compared to them clouds above the tree. You're just gonna enlarge that particular point by zooming in. It's just basically enlarging that a particular section of what you're looking at. So you're not going to zoom in and change. It's not, in other words, it's not going to change the angle like you're getting closer to the tree. It's different. If you walk closer to the tree, you're literally going to block more clouds until you get right up to the tree. When you get right up to the tree, it's going to block almost all the clouds out the distance. So it's not the same. Zooming in is not the same as
we're talking about
literally
objects
changing
that
your
are,
angle.
no, we're talking about objects that are the same distance. So the cloud and the tree needs to be at the same distance. Now we can zoom in or zoom out or get closer or further. Would be seeing
If it's the same distance,
any difference.
Yeah, okay, so the same distance. So let's say the clouds that are 2 miles away with a tree under it 2 miles away, are they going to ramp down at the same rate in our field of view as we back away from right underneath them to 2 miles? No.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
They will take their proportional size in the field of view.
Would you agree that everything ramps down to and ramps up to the horizon?
Ramps up. It's not the appropriate. It gets smaller in the field of view, and it gets smaller from the bottom or the top. Depends where it is in our field of view.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was trying to tell Leo when he's trying to act like everything is changing exactly. Yeah, that works perfect in the center field of view. Like if you're in the middle of the field of view out in the distance, when he describes half a degree above and half a degree below of the building, yeah, that works in the field of view. If you're centered.
That way was corrected later to percent. So you don't have to be in the center, but the percentage will remain the same. The proportions will remain the same.
Okay, so if you're at the bottom of the field of view,
if you have a small object that is 10% of a bigger object, and you move away from it certain distance, and it gets the bigger object is going to reduce size by 10%. So we'll do the smaller object, and the ratios of 1 to 10 will remain the same.
I'm not. Yeah, I agree with that too. We're talking about angles. I wasn't talking about size, but size, it's gonna shrink proportionally. I'm gonna agree with that too, to a certain extent. Maybe with the exception of some atmospheric. But for the most part, yeah, I agree with that too.
Size and angle at a far enough distance are almost the same. From close distance, the angles and the signs will not match, but from further away distance, they would. Because it's the tangent actually that remains the same. That remains proportional.
But I'm about to be back in my dead zone, man. If I don't talk or if I drop, that's why I'm not running or I'm not rage quitting or nothing like that.
Rage quit!
Yeah. Hey, does anybody else here think that the clouds ramp down due to Earth curve only?
What else is it?
I mean, the clouds follow the contour of the Earth. Not there's the extra layer, so I can the surface of the Earth follow the curvature of the Earth. Follow, and then the clouds will follow that other level above the Earth. So it will, follow the curvature of the Earth too.
I can answer it.
Separate layer above the. the land.
Answer it with a question, Brian. And the question is simply this. If you know the ceiling height of the clouds on a particular day, can you work out the distance they would have to be in the last 5 degrees of your vision?
I drove. I filmed it. I never posted this video, but to answer your question, I filmed it. And in this particular case, it wasn't 5 degrees, but it was probably about 11 or 12 degrees, maybe a little over 10. It was the clouds above the trees, way off in the distance. I couldn't see, anything past the trees, but it was about 11 miles. I looked at my odometer, and I drove, and the trees that were above the the clouds that were above the trees, I got under the big it was a particular cloud. It had a distinct shape, so I picked it, and it was in the direction I was moving. I had a few to choose from. It was the biggest of the three, and I got up under it at about I think it was about 11 and a half miles. But yeah, I don't think that math works with clouds, man. I've tried to work it out. I don't think it works.
You think clouds don't move too? It's a bit not the scientific way to do it. There's the time you need a laser. It's someone you.
Yeah, I will agree though. That, yeah. I couldn't tell you an exact distance because the clouds do move. So, but and it did take me a little while to get that 11 miles. I was in traffic, so it's not an exact distance, but I'd say roughly between about 10 and 12 miles. Approximation is about how far they were that day. I think if you find out the height of the cloud deck and start doing the math to the clouds on the horizon, I think you'll see it doesn't match any Earth curve predictions at all, not even close.
I mean, Brian, one of the issues is it's incredibly hard because clouds are obviously in a fluid, which is the atmosphere, so it's incredibly hard to kind of gauge that kind of thing. But what you can do this, as you can say, well, if the clouds have a ceiling of a ground height of, let's say, 5,000 feet, let's say really high cloud day, you can work out over flat ground how far the clouds are away on a flat surface. Forget the curve. Flat surface, how far the clouds will have to be away for it to touch the horizon almost. And I'm talking the last 2 degrees of the horizon because that's the killer. And you'll find it's like 30 or 40,000 miles they would have to be away. And that's a bit of an issue because you can zoom in and still see details. And I can tell you right now, there's no way you'll be able to zoom in on 50,000 mile away clouds. Those clouds are literally only at the most like 500-600 miles away, I think.
There's a problem with that though. If you take clouds, if a cloud deck that's 1 mile high, okay, once you get to 2 degrees, okay, or let's say 3 degrees in your vision, that's the limit of the visibility of that day. So there's a problem with that in general, and that is the visibility of the day. On a good day, on the best of days, your visibility is going to be about 25, 30 miles. It averages about 10, 15 miles. So them ramping down has nothing to do with Earth curve because you're talking just a few hundred feet of Earth curve over the visibility of the day. I mean, I don't know how you could argue that.
I've got a question for you. So you say that on a really good day, the visibility is about 15 miles. Is that correct?
No, on a good day, it's about 30, 35 miles.
Okay, so on a brilliant day, fantastic day, can we say it's 50 on just this amazing day?
Sure.
And I see the moon at the horizon.
Oh, come on, man. I'm not talking about the moon.
50 miles away. If I see a mountain in the distance that's clearly further than 50 miles away, do you not think that statement you just said is a bit flawed?
You see the mountain when you're driving around. You could ask Howard this. You don't see the tippity top of the mountain when you get into range. You'll see a real faded out peak, like the summit come into view. You don't see the mountain. You don't drive up on it. It's not like you're picturing in your head. Oh, I don't know how you're picturing it, but you don't first see the tippity top of the mountain. Your visibility is limited. So when you get in range, all of a sudden you'll see the whole summit start to come into view. Okay, it's due to the limit of visibility.
No, it's due to light attenuation and how dense the atmosphere is, and I absolutely get that. But on a clear day, in temperate conditions with low humidity and cool temperatures across, without changing atmosphere across distance, you can see a lot further than 50 miles.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
That's days we see black swan. That's days we get like black swans. Or on
no, black swan isn't 50 miles away. But you can see like 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 miles away on a fantastic cold night across the ocean because you can see a moonset.
You're talking about the stars and heavens. Let's leave them out of this observation because for the lack of being able to prove the distance to them, man. And that's a whole different argument if you want to go down that road. Let's keep it terrestrial. Let's use an airplane. Let's use an airplane. The lights on an airplane.
No, it needs to be something big. Can we both agree that the moon is further than, let's say, 10,000 miles away, right?
No.
When it's on the horizon for me, you don't think it's further than 10,000 miles away?
Optically, if it's on the horizon, it's no more than 6,000 miles away.
Wait, what?
Or 6,200 tops, right?
So if the moon's at your zenith,
why are you going straight to the moon, bro? I just said let's keep the terrestrials out of it because that's a whole different argument, man. If we're talking about vision, let's keep it terrestrial. Like we could even go as far as lights on airplanes and shit.
Let's talk about that mountain peak on a regular basis. I do see mountain peaks poke up over the horizon below eye level. How is a mountain that's 5,000 feet taller than I am below my eye level?
What are you talking
about?
How
could you draw that on an orthographic view? I mean, I see mountains peep up over the horizon and like 60, 70 miles away that are below my eye level.
That's the whole mountain. I'd like you to show me a picture of that.
No, just the peak. Just the peak.
No, just the peak, just a tiny little peak off in the distance. It looks like you're describing it as a peak because it's real tiny way off in the distance, right?
Yeah, the rest of the mountain is obstructed.
Yeah, and it's obstructed by a certain amount. Hold on now. It's obstructed by a certain amount. And then later on in the day, you're going to see more from that same point. Okay, so is Earth curve changing? Is that why Skunk Bay, we see all this shit fluctuating? So you're saying Earth curve must fluctuate, right? So the flat Earth predicts that the amount that you'll see will vary.
I can tell you each I go by how much of that mountain I'm going to see every time I go through there. I go through there once a week, and it's the same every time. If I
show me a picture,
sometimes it's the atmosphere is hazy or smoke from wildfires. That's what it was this week. But yeah, on a clear day in the wintertime, I could see the crest of that. They're called the Needles at Baylor Peak in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and very distinct ridgeline.
Well, guess what, man? We could see, I don't know what else to do than to give you this example. The example of the mountain, I forgot the country it's in. I think it's somewhere in Europe. But we can see when the sun gets directly behind it, we can see a silhouette of the mountain from 180 miles away. Okay, that right there should at least have people questioning all this shit. So why ain't we seeing just the tippity top of what's the name of the Canigou? Why ain't we seeing just the tippity top of Canigou from 180 miles away? Earth curve would predict it's not visible at all.
It is
at all, not even one bit.
Yeah. Yeah, according to the numbers, there's over a mile of that mountain obstructed.
It's a head scratcher if nothing else, It's worth talking about.
Yeah.
Well, whether
It is, but if you think about it, Brian, there's statistically, if you can see it on this one day and you can't on the other days, and we were just going off statistics, then the globe is right well over 99.5% of the time.
Good point. But the only reason we can see it that day, it's 2 days out of the year. It's when the sun's on its way. When it's on the horizon, it only lines up at that mountain. So we're just seeing the silhouette of the mountain only because the sun is right behind it. So when I said don't bring the heavenly bodies into it, lights that bright tend to break the rules a little bit. If something's bright, that's so the sun is bright enough to silhouette that mountain, and that's the only reason we're seeing it. Would you agree with
yeah,
that?
yeah, there's enough light to overcome the fog or whatever there is in the way. That the light will reach that enough light will reach your eye that you can see it. That's all.
And
Just
another
one light.
thing that hold on one more thing, Chikey, this is pretty important. Is it ain't just the mountain should be 1 mile behind obstruction. It's the tippity top of the mountain should be 1 mile below obstruction. So I understand y'all's argument with the
From where?
angles is in the refraction. I can see the possibility of it being a small angle for light to
From
refract.
where?
I'll say okay, that's a possibility. But let's say this. Would you agree that on any day, if I had a light as bright as the sun to shine behind Canigoo, from that point of observation, if I had a light as bright as the sun, I could see it every day, not just them 2 days out of the year.
What point of observation is that?
180 miles.
that tell me exactly where it is.
It's exactly 180 miles away. I don't know
Oh,
exactly what you're asking for.
now I need a compass to measure 180 miles around Canada and see where it is.
Okay, man. Man, I'm about to be back in this dead zone, guys. Man, I'll be listening. It'll be cutting in and out, but I'll be trying to listen to any points that anybody has. But I appreciate the conversation, guys.
Thank you very much. It was fun, man. Yeah, because Gary came in and he left. Let's do a round of final thoughts. It's a lot of music. I got to do a couple stuff around, but it was fun having a show. A little shorter than usual, but I want to thank everybody. Look at that. Last second super chat. Not going to fool me with that tip meme. Shout out to John Rapp with 2 Australians. Tippity tap. Shout out to the tip tap. I'm waiting for the. There you go. There's the cowbell. Final thoughts. Trying to avoid the music. Let me plug this. It always stopped. Yeah. So this moment before it kicks off, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, support by checking on the links on the description box. There's also a super thanks for the videos that are open render. If anybody want to support, there's a PayPal link, and the Discord server Daily Boom is free for you guys to come in, join, and hang out over here. Thank you. It was good. It was really good. Shout out to Left Lane. He doesn't have a signal right now. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for those who come and don't speak like Discord user. What's up? Leo muted himself. Let's get some final thoughts. Shike.
Yeah, good show. No, not too much shouting. My opinion. Thank you.
Yes, it was a great show. It was good. I appreciate it. Earth is live. Final thoughts.
I missed the second half of the show. I have absolutely no idea what you guys talked about. So I'm gonna go back and listen, but I'm gonna make a prediction and say that Gary came in and talked about the same thing he always talked about, and then he left, and then Brian came in and talked about a few things that he's probably confused about. But yeah, so I can't say whether it was a good or a bad show. I just have to take your word for it.
Well,
Anyway,
you made it. Yeah, you made a prediction. Now you got to go back on your own time and release in the second half,
yep.
and then you will know if you're correct or not. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, not,
See you
yeah,
later,
yeah.
man.
It's always a good show though. But yeah, I'll listen back.
Good looking out, man. You,
Yep.
Farmer's Boy. Final thoughts.
Yeah, good show. It was fairly relaxed and restrained. Yeah, just what I needed tonight as I'm chilling out and and now falling asleep. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was good to see you earlier on Terry Davis. I was there
Yeah,
for a few minutes.
nice of you to pop in and say hello.
You know it.
Okay.
Fred the Magnificent. I mean, you know what I mean. Shout out to Marcus Dresden. Nestle Wipes. Final thoughts. Fred say a good one. A good one. None of the usually shouty ones. Good times, good times. And thank you to other Mel. Thank you Discord user. There's gonna be hopefully a few people talking among themselves over here on Discord. You guys, anybody can come in whenever you want and tag people. Say you want to make a little combo on the voice chat, and you can use this server to talk among yourself whenever you want. Holler at me, send me any comment, question, concerns, or whatever, personal or related to the show, and I'll try to get back at you as soon as I can. Thank you very much, everybody. Jose JG out. Squeaky Earth.